If you're a Texas landowner and you're interested in improving the quality of the genetics on your ranch, you can contact me at deerandwildlifestories.com. As a deer hunter, I want to know all I can about America's favorite big game animal. That's why I became a deer farmer. Without deer farms, we lose our greatest resource for research and whitetail management. With them, we gain more knowledge than ever before. Join me as we discover the truth about whitetails and meet those who work every day to preserve this great species for future generations. My name is Keith Warren, and this is Deer and Wildlife Stories. There are more deer farmers downstairs than you can shake a stick at. It's like a big old family reunion. Hi everybody, this week Deer and Wildlife Stories comes to you from deep East Texas. Actually, we're about 2 miles south of the small town of Center at an event put on by HighRoller Whitetails. It's called the HighRoller Buck Draft. And this draws people from all over the country that are here for one thing. It's for that one lucky buck that'll help put their deer breeding program over the top. I drew number 37, and I'm pretty happy about that.
Number 1, number 11, 3, 6, good. Number 1.
This is stacked with really good genetics, so it will be interesting to see where our market plays out. As the executive director of the Texas Deer Association, I'm always looking to see how our market is trending, whether it's up or down, and this sale will highlight kind of the upper echelon of where our market is. So for me, it'll be a learning tool to see how robust our market is here in Texas.
I'm George Tunall with HighRoller Whitetails. The reason I came to the HighRoller Draft is, I'm sure, the reason the rest of us are here, trying to see if we can't sneak something that we really need as far as genetics are concerned.
Yeah, I came here today to watch this great event. I mean, it's the first one for the whitetail breeding, and it's only going to get bigger and better every year, and top breeders from all over the world come to this event, as you can see today.
Venimos del norte de México, venimos aquí a HighRoller a comprar la mejor genética que existe. Tenemos años viniendo para acá, para llevarle ya al rancho la mascota y poder mejorar nuestra genética también. Se los agradecemos mucho, todo lo que nos han apoyado.
I'm Tim Condit, the Executive Director of the Deer Breeders Corporation out of Mesquite, Texas. I'm here to represent the Deer Breeders Corporation at the HighRoller Buck Draft and Premium Deer Auction, and also to participate as one of the people who is buying one of the spots.
We want to get the lowest number possible on this show.
So that's bad.
43 is kind of bad. Yeah.
The Deer Farming Channel is brought to you in part by Record Rack Deer and Elk Feeds. So regular viewers of our show realize that most of our programs are real rich with beautiful video of giant deer. This program is going to be a bit different. The reason why we're taking you behind the scenes at one of the most exciting events in the deer industry. For over 10 years now, we've actually featured HighRoller Whitetails on Deer and Wildlife Stories, and during that time, I can remember coming back 10 years ago, looking at deer and saying, these are absolutely amazing. I mean, look at them, and I'd come back year after year after year. HighRoller Whitetails, East Texas. We are the first commercial video cameras ever allowed on this place, and you're not going to believe what they have inside here. And every time I came back, the deer got better, and there were more of them. And it was like, how in the world could somebody consistently grow big deer like this? I started thinking it had to be luck, right? Wrong. It's not luck. It's genetics. And what's happened is that James Butler, who runs HighRoller Whitetails, it's like he's got the code to get inside Fort Knox, if you will, for the genetics on whitetail deer. And he has created such a high quality genetic herd that basically every deer breeder in the country wants to have HighRoller whitetail genetics in their herd. I don't believe this. The deer industry is looking for frames and consistency. And here at HighRoller Whitetails, this is the back room. I gotta show you what's back here. This buck right here, pretty impressive deer, huh? Some of you that are in deer business, yeah, he's all right. What about this one right here? Yeah, he's all right. All right, you kidding me? They're 1-year-olds and they're brothers. They're womb brothers. HighRoller Whitetails.
Yeah, it's extremely important if you're talking about making the right breeding decisions, and the reason is that's where your whole future lies. With size, pedigree, markability, I mean, everything comes down to that.
Well, we try to make the right breeding decisions by pedigree and look of the buck and what the doe's produced, and what it does for us is produces what we're looking for.
Making the right breeding decisions is, top priority. If you can stack the pedigrees right, make it marketability, endless possibilities. As far as growing big deer, as far as making high dollar sales in the auctions like today, making those decisions, will take you to the top, all the way.
It's really neat when it all goes together, because you no longer have to sell your product sells itself. Instead of trying to convince somebody you got a really good product, DNA database there with NADR, many guys will start looking on it. You'll start getting phone calls about a deer you didn't even know was in there yet, simply because it got a great pedigree. So breeding it right means it sells itself for a whole lot more money than you ever could sell it for. Breeding it wrong means you got a whole lot of work ahead of you.
So who runs HighRoller Whitetails? Who's responsible for creating this? Who's responsible for the day-to-day operations to make sure that HighRoller Whitetails stays on top in the whitetail world? Well, his name is James Butler. James is a serious individual. James is a friend of mine. Not only is he a serious deer farmer, he's a serious big game hunter, and James and I have shared time in hunting camp going after different animals. And James is very competitive, extremely competitive. James likes to finish numero uno every single time, and he's going to do what it takes to finish first.
The way HighRoller actually got started, we were feeding our deer in a ranch and not getting anywhere. We had a whole bunch of little bitty deer running around, and we were spending a fortune on protein, and we were shooting 130 and 140 inch deer, so we decided we wanted to stock the ranch with a lot better genetics. In the beginning, that's how HighRoller got started. And then all of a sudden we had goals of raising the biggest deer in the country, and so we went out and started buying the very best females that we possibly could, and through that, we developed into the herd that we've got today.
All right, so what we're going to do, tomorrow is the buck draft, and it's going to get really, really serious. But tonight it's all about having fun and finding out what position we're going to be. So we're going to start out with having a nice meal, and then we're going to pick our positions, and everybody's got their fingers crossed to get a very low number, myself included. And then after that, we're going to have some fun. We're going to be playing a little basketball game, but the basketball game is not like any other basketball game you've likely ever seen.
37.
I drew number 37. I'm pretty happy about that. I mean, I'd been happier if it was number 1, but 37 is not bad because everybody's a winner here.
You know you were shooting for 49 or 50, so you got way closer than you did earlier.
Billy! Billy, say.
Hey,
Yeah.
give me the magnet back and I'll get the magnet out of the bowl and leave.
I left it up on the stage. Okay.
Okay, so tell him what number you drew.
Number 1.
I'm telling you, this is Gunslinger's daddy, and he is number 1. I mean,
See, I like that.
he's the luckiest guy in the room. He really is.
I got lucky for one.
Number 1. Yeah, right.
I'd rather be lucky than good.
Oh, you're good.
Everybody
luck.
tells me I'm no good, so I must be lucky.
If you're in Texas and interested in becoming a deer farmer, you can contact me for deer farming franchise opportunities right here in Texas at deerandwildlifestories.com. Then after that, we're going to have some fun. We're going to be playing a little basketball game, but the basketball game is not like any other basketball game you've likely ever seen.
There is no way I'm getting on one of those donkeys tonight.
Oh yeah, might as well. I mean, if the rest of these guys are going to make a fool out of themselves, why wouldn't I join them?
I'm moving into retirement at this time and starting my coaching career tonight, and I don't want to start with a loss. I was trying to get Keith Warren to be on my team as basically just a favor because I know he can't play and I know he's not athletic or anything, but he came up with this cockamamie bull story, and he's telling me that
My hemorrhoids are terrible. I mean, I've been walking around all day long. It was a long drive over here, so that's the excuse that I'm going to give them. My hemorrhoids are what's causing me not to be able to play basketball tonight.
Riders must be mounted to shoot steel ball block past the shots. So anything you do, you need to be on your donkey to do it. If you're not completely on the donkey and you make the basket, it will not count.
Good coach.
You'll sit out first.
That's what I'm talking about.
Tim, you understand your team is getting skunked.
James is focused and has an uncanny ability to assemble some of the greatest deer pedigrees in the world. What that means to other deer farmers and to deer enthusiasts around the country is that James is gifted with a unique ability to foresee not only what our deer industry is looking for, but he creates it. So it's no wonder why HighRoller Whitetails consistently produces some of the best performing, quality bred production whitetails the deer industry has ever seen. Consequently, genetics from HighRoller Whitetails are found in deer herds all over the country for good reason. Because any serious deer farmer knows that when you have HighRoller Whitetail genetics in your deer herd, the value automatically goes up.
You know, James Butler, for being where he is in the industry, he's the most down-to-earth, kid-friendly, answers a million questions for you when you're starting out about how things work, doesn't pull the punches, and he's also truthful. He's not going to sell his deer cheap because he thinks they're worth a lot of money. And he's right, they are worth good money. But as a person, you know, when you have a leader of the industry, we need that kind of leadership.
James Butler is the best. I mean, he knows pedigrees, he knows deer as well as anybody I know of. First time I met him, he showed me, you know, pedigrees and went over things, and he always told me, buy quality, not quantity. And I've tried to strive to that, and I think that's why we've been as successful as we are. James wants no less than to be perfect. He builds and goes after every time to be better each year, and as you can see, it happens year after year that he gets better and better, and the whole HighRoller team.
These pedigrees are all found in the North American Deer Registry, and it's important to point out that in my opinion, the information in the North American Deer Registry is so important, it really truly is the holy grail when it comes to deer pedigrees.
The Deer Farming Channel is brought to you in part by New Dart, leading the industry in accuracy.
Okay, so it's the beginning of day 2 and things are changing. You know, yesterday was a lot of fun, a lot of games, and everybody really enjoyed themselves. We all picked our numbers, and now we've got a completely different attitude in the room. Now it's all business. What I mean by that is everybody's got their strategy. Everybody already has their draft pick picked out. It's just a matter of will that deer be available when their number is selected.
If this year's anything like last year was, on day 2, you're gonna see a bunch of guys studying books. You're gonna see guys that won't pick their head up when their name's called because they're so into the draft, keeping up with all the different pedigrees and what each breeder picks. Once a breeder picks one, well then that animal's eliminated. And not only is that animal eliminated, all of his brothers, because we don't want 2 people marketing and competing against each other with the same genetics. What do you think, Keith? It ranks at 42. Breeding rank, on overnight, on shadow, look like the big guy's sister.
You did good there. Write that down so you know you got it.
42.
Yep.
Good.
Good, really good.
You know, after you get your draft spot and then your name gets called and the guys come up and the guys and gals come up on the stage, it's fun to watch because sometimes a draft will get picked right out from under them and you have 3 minutes. And 3 minutes when you're sitting and watching seems like an eternity. But when you're the one under the gun, 3 minutes flies by. So, you know, the clock doesn't come into play very often, but it's still a fun thing from the outside to sit back and watch. Brian Wilson, come on up.
Tell them they started a timer. Hold on.
To get in the buck draft, it's really simple. I mean, you sign up, we get you a spot, and once you get in, kind of the way the rules are, you're getting 50% of the buck. Brian said he wants 17. But, I mean, that's really just a way that we have to word it legally because the only way that HighRoller stays involved with a buck is if it turns into a really mainline breeder. Number 30. Triple Crown on Moab, on Kingpin, back on Orange 15. If it's not a breeder that we're going to market and sell semen out of, the buck becomes 100% yours. If there's anything that you have my personal guarantee on, if you buy something from HighRoller, we're going to stand behind it 100%. Our customer service means more to us than the sale.
The best part to me about HighRoller is every time you go there, the customer service is, in my opinion, paramount. The fact that James will back up and warranty and make things right in the deer business to me is huge.
They're one of a kind, first-class operation, first-class people. Their customer service is unbelievably good.
Once we make the sale, our deal's not done. We're here for every client that we've got, from the littlest to the biggest. Our main goal at HighRoller is not to just sell you a deer. It's for you to do well in the deer industry and do well with your herd. The success that we've had the last 12 years in our breeding operation, it takes an entire team. One person can't do it. We have an amazing staff, amazing partners. Our program couldn't exist without every single one of us. Not only does it take our staff, but it takes every one of our customers, from the smallest guy to the biggest guy. Everybody is just as important. Without our customers, we wouldn't have anything but some deer in a pen.
At the end of the day, the decisions made here at the HighRoller Draft will clearly change the direction of the deer breeding industry. Every selection is of the highest quality genetics, and literally any of these deer chosen today could wind up being the next legendary deer in the deer breeding industry. And I gotta tell you, every one of us that participated in this program has our fingers crossed that the deer that we've chosen will change our deer breeding program for the better. I'd like to thank you for watching. My name is Keith Warren, and you've been watching Deer and Wildlife Stories. If you have any questions or comments, please post them below, and we'll see you next time.